What if I told you that the key to understanding the fundamental physics of light and sound was actually hidden inside a children's story? I know it sounds a little wild, but we're about to dive into a fantastic tale about a magical triceratops to unlock some very real science. Okay, let's get into it. So, our story kicks off with a huge problem. The world of our hero, a young triceratops named Triton, has literally lost all its color and all its music. And why? Well, a villain named Grey Chaos has swiped a powerful crystal. This sets the stage for a quest, not just to save the world, but to figure out how it all works in the first place. And that's the big question we're tackling, right? How does this storybook hero with these glowing horns actually teach us anything real? We're going to follow his journey and see how this entire adventure is a brilliant, brilliant allegory for the science that governs our reality. Let's start peeling back the layers. All right, so let's properly meet our protagonist. This is Traton. He's a very special triceratops, and his three horns are definitely not just for show. They actually glow. The blue one represents truth, the gold one symbolizes beauty, and the green one stands for goodness. And these aren't just abstract ideas. As you're about to see, they're the keys to everything. So this is the world Triton wakes up in, and it's a total sensory nightmare. Imagine all the vibrant colors you know are just gone, replaced by this flat, oppressive gray. And all the sounds we love, like bird singing, have twisted into this harsh, horrible, jarring noise. His mission is crystal clear. He has to bring back the harmony of light and sound. Triton's journey starts with what the story calls a thesis, basically a foundational lesson on what light actually is. This is where we start to unpack the first big piece of our scientific puzzle. What is color, anyway? The story drops this really profound idea right at the beginning. Everything is light. The whole universe, it suggests, is just light vibrating in different ways. And that bright white light, from the sun, it's not just white. It's actually a hidden rainbow, like a secret box of crayons, holding every color you can imagine. Now, here's the real-world science behind that beautiful idea. What the story is describing is what we call the visible spectrum. It's the very specific range of light waves that our eyes are built to see. Every single color, from red all the way to violet, corresponds to a very specific wavelength of light. In the story, this wise old owl named Professor Prisma shows Triton exactly how this works. And it's pretty much a perfect illustration of that experiment you might have done in science class. You take white light, you pass it through a prism, and bam, it splits and separates into all its component colors. The magic in the story is literally just physics. So here's where it gets really clever. Triton's horns act like a set of antennae for light. His blue horn, the one for truth, picks up the short, fast, high-energy waves. The gold horn, for beauty, tunes into the medium waves, and the green horn, for goodness, absorbs the long, lower-energy waves. The story is directly connecting these virtues to the physical properties of light. It's pretty amazing. Of course, you can't have a hero's journey without some villains. The story brings in its antithesis with the minions of Grey Chaos. And get this, these aren't just generic monsters. They are literally the personification of real scientific principles that mess with light and sound. Let's meet the crew. First up is absorbitodo, which means absorb all. He's this black monster who just swallows light, representing absorption. Then you've got mezcla loco, or mix crazy, who messes up colors, personifying subtractive color mixing. Like when you mix all your paints together and just get mud? And finally, ruido sordo, or deafening noise, who just creates sonic chaos. Now, to defeat that first monster, absorbed by Toto, Traton has a huge breakthrough. He learns that mixing primary paints, like red, blue, and yellow, makes that muddy brown. But mixing the primary colors of light, which are red, green, and blue, does the exact opposite. It all combines to create pure, brilliant white light. This is called additive color mixing, and it's literally how the screen you're looking at right now makes millions of colors. Okay, now we get to the synthesis. This is the grand finale of his learning. It's where Traton, who now understands light and has faced down the forces of chaos, is about to discover the story's greatest secret: the deep, universal connection between light and sound. So before the big reveal, the story gives us a quick primer. It compares light and sound waves.
Light waves, they can travel through the empty vacuum of space, and their frequency is what determines their color. Sound waves, on the other hand, need something to travel through, like air, and their frequency determines their musical pitch. So they work differently, but they share a secret ingredient. Frequency is the key to both. And that shared principle leads to the most beautiful line in the whole story, delivered by a hummingbird named Melodia. She says, "Colors are music for the eyes, and music is colors for the ears." It's such a poetic way of saying that light and sound are just two different languages of vibration, and we perceive them with different senses. And here it is, the big secret, laid out for us. The story draws a direct line between the frequencies of musical notes and the colors of the rainbow. The note do vibrates around 261 times per second, which the story connects to the color red. Sol vibrates at 392 hertz, and that lines up with blue. It's this beautiful, elegant system that connects two worlds we thought were separate. So, armed with this incredible, complete understanding of light and sound, Traton is finally ready for his final lesson, and this one ties it all together with a really powerful metaphor. When you really boil it all down, his entire adventure comes down to 5 absolutely crucial scientific discoveries. These are the things that allowed him to finally bring harmony back to his world. He learned about additive light versus subtractive paint. He figured out that every color has a specific light wave frequency. He realized that sound is also just a wave, and its frequency gives it a pitch. And maybe most importantly, he understood that harmony, in music, in art, in anything, is just the beautiful, purposeful combination of these frequencies. And this brings us to the story's absolutely magnificent final metaphor. Traton realizes that we are all weavers of light and sound. He learns that the threads we have to work with are truth, beauty, and goodness, and with them, we can consciously and deliberately weave color, music, and harmony into the very fabric of our world. So this story leaves us with this incredible question that really goes beyond the science. It takes this deep physical truth and turns it back on us as a personal challenge. It asks, using the tools of truth, beauty, and goodness, what kind of symphony will you choose to create today?